All right, listen up. Here we go. Generally speaking, just basic definition. Jeremy, what is irony?
Sarcasm.
Not verbal irony. What is irony?
Somebody doesn't know what you're talking about.
No, Phoebe.
Never listen to me.
It's the opposite of what is expected.
It is the opposite of what is expected. Okay, when we talk about irony, we're talking about something that is the opposite of what is expected. Which makes verbal irony what, Jeremy?
Sarcasm.
Sarcasm. Very good.
Haley is the new everybody.
Well,
Tim, and only Tim, can you tell me what situational irony is, please?
When you know, when you as the reader knows more about the book.
Yes.
What happened next?
Situational irony is when you as the reader, no. That was not situational. That's dramatic. So dramatic irony is when you as the reader know more than what's going on than the characters do. So what's that make situational, Sarah? Huh? What's that make situational, Eli?
Huh?
Situational irony. Ashley?
when something happens, it's opposite of what is expected.
When something happens, it is the opposite of what is expected, and both the readers and the characters are both surprised by that. We also talked about foils. We talked about foils. Mohammed, do you remember what just a foil is when we talk about characters?
The opposite of protagonist.
It's the opposite of the protagonist. When you have two characters who are opposite, Haley, do you remember what the purpose is or what foils do?
No, but I really.
Okay? Protagonist is the main character. Does anybody remember what a foil actually does? We have two opposite characters, but that serves a purpose. Think back to last week. Idley and I were standing over there by the counter. And we said that Idley was like 5'3" and I was 5'7". I stood up on the counter. I'm still 5'7". He's still 5'3". But what happened?
You still look tall.
I exaggerated how tall I was in comparison to Idley.
What is that called?
Foil. Okay, we also talked about how if I was an extraordinarily good human being, and let's say Carlos was extraordinarily bad, you put us next to each other, it makes me look better than I already am, and it makes him look worse than he already is. So by putting two opposite characters next to each other, it exaggerates certain qualities. We also talked about illusions, and we said there were 3 different types of illusion. Justice, tell me what illusion is in general. With an A, not an I.
Illusion is. I don't know. Let me get to that. You can go to the next question.
Then this is more or less the last question.
A reference to something or someone that is famous or well known.
Good. It is a reference to something or someone that is famous or well known. And we talked about 3 different types of illusions. Locke, can you tell me one type of illusion? Sarah, can you tell me one type of illusion? Say it again. One more time, Bobby, please.
Biblical.
Yes, biblical. Okay. Biblical illusion is when we reference religion in any way. Phoebe, can you think of another one? Historical. Yep.
Whatever.
Historical references.
Story.
Listen, historical is when it's something that is referenced through history and Jeremy?
Mystery.
Not mystery.
Dramatic.
Mythological.
That's the word.
Mythological. We also call that literary when we're referencing another piece of writing. Today, we are going to be looking at stage directions and looking at what makes stage directions, etc. So by the end of today, you should be able to say that you can define, identify, create, and analyze stage directions. So, first and foremost, take a look here. Let's remind ourselves what mood is. Ishmael, do me a favor. Read the last bullet.
The last bullet.
Yeah.
In a nutshell, mood is to show the author wants you to feel.
In a nutshell, mood is how the author wants you to feel. So when we say something in a nutshell, we're saying the condensed version.
Oh.
Summarized. So when we talk about mood, based on the author's tone, we as readers will feel a certain way. Put that in the back of your mind. Today we're going to be talking about stage directions. I would go ahead and just jot this down. Stage directions are the instructions to actors, directors, and stage crew that's included in the script of a play.
What was dramatic?
Dramatic irony?
Yeah.
When you as the reader know more than the characters.
What is it?
Let me get some nuts.
So, we know that this is what stage directions do. Let's try to connect the dots a little bit. We know mood is how the author wants the reader to feel. We know stage directions are instructions on how the play should sound and look. Ashley, can you think of a connection between the two? We know mood is how the author wants us to feel, and we know stage directions are instructions to people involved in the play. How are they connected? Sarah?
It's like when you're on stage. I know how to explain it better than how they're connected. But like when you're on stage, and like one of the instructions is like to dance out the room. The mood makes you feel, but like the author wants you to feel like how the person's dancing.
Excellent. To use her example, if the stage directions say the character danced out of the room, okay, that action does help set a certain mood. It allows us to understand the emotion of the character. It allows us to feel that emotion as well. Woo! So we're going to play with this for a second. Here's what is going to happen. I need a Tyrone and I need a teacher.
Can I be a teacher?
All right, there we go. We got Timmy at Tyrone and Sarah as teacher. So, go ahead and read. Act it out.
Hey homies, what's up?
Tyrone, you need to have a seat.
Woman, I said.
We are reading this one.
Woman, I said when I get ready. When I'm good and ready.
Tyrone, I will call your mother if you don't have a seat immediately.
All right, old lady, I'm sitting.
Okay.
Smack the dog crap out of that
All right, so it was acted. Would we say this was particularly filled with an emotion?
No.
Would we say that this created any real definable mood?
No.
Yup.
No?
Yeah.
What mood would you define this as?
Fine.
I will call your mother. She's being strict.
She's being strict, but that's not a mood.
That's angry.
Could be, but do we know that for sure?
No.
How can we improve this to get a very definable certain mood?
With stage direction.
Okay.
Doing things.
So, Sarah and Tim, do it again.
Hey homies, what's up?
Tyrone, you need to have a seat.
Woman, I sit when I'm good and ready.
Tyrone, I will call your mother if you don't have a seat immediately.
All right, old lady, I'm sitting.
Okay.
A little bit.
We get a little bit more. All right, we're getting a little bit more of a mood. However, did Sarah sound particularly angry here?
No.
No.
No,
Did Tim sound particularly goofy here?
No.
No.
Alright. when you doing it, once you like, alright,
Well, then I said
Well-
what I'm good.
Haley brings up an excellent point. By putting that word goofily in there, in a
You should laugh
goofy
before
way,
you say it.
you can laugh before you say it, you can make some kind of motion. But think about it. Does this conversation happen between two people who are sitting down?
Nope.
No. Obviously, in this case, Tyrone is up and about. The teacher's trying to do their thing. But do we know that?
No,
So
Sarah, she said
what could
kinda
we have
called,
added?
but not really because she's not really.
Exclamation point.
Well, let me rephrase my question. Do we know that Tyrone is wandering the room?
No.
I mean, we have an idea, saying you need to have a
He's
seat.
talking to his friends, I think.
But it doesn't say, like, Tyrone enters the room and goes and talks to his friends.
See, that's why we need those things.
That's why we need stage directions, to help us and to help the author really create a play that he envisions. Now, angrily, for the teacher. Jeremy, do me a favor, read that angrily. Tyrone!
I'll call your mother if you don't have a seat immediately.
Okay.
That
You
scared
scared
me.
me.
That creates a very, let's say, tense mood, right?
Yes.
Now do me a favor. BB, read the same line, but let's imagine that this said calmly, like up here.
Tyrone, I will call your mother if you don't have to sit immediately. I don't know.
Really, that's how teachers, Tyrone, I will call your
No,
but I'm sure you've seen a teacher pull this. I know you've all seen the teacher do the yelling one,
Yeah.
okay? But you've also seen teachers do this. Tyrone, if you don't sit down immediately, I'm going to call your mother.
Calm, mama.
I'm calm, right?
That's as simple as I was reading.
Oh, you said But here's the thing. Does it have the same effect if I had delivered those lines behind my desk?
No, yeah, no.
Yes.
Yeah, you can be.
No,
It
yes.
depends on what it is because if you do
Pause,
it,
Sarah. The way I said those lines, does it have the same effect behind my desk versus right here on each?
yeah, you can
No,
do it on top of your
no
desk. You
sizzy.
can
No
like,
sizzy doing smack.
But that's not what I'm saying, Sarah. Behind my desk, on Evelyn's desk. I don't care what I'm doing behind my desk.
It doesn't matter.
Does it have the same
Shut up for a minute, please.
effect?
No, this is.
This is more intimidating. I'm right here with Edley. He's got no choice but to look at me. He knows that if he doesn't
You
sit
did that to
down
me
right
before.
now,
You
I'm
did
gonna
that
be
to me.
calling
I
home.
would have knocked you out.
Oh, you live.
So
I can throw a tissue box.
the point being, guys, when a playwright creates his plays, he adds stage directions to help make it what it could be. We don't know what kind of teacher this is. If it says the teacher angrily says that, we get the Jeremy teacher. If it says the teacher calmly says it, you get the one that I just showed. It changes. Now you guys are going to get the opportunity to play with this. You guys have a skit. Looks like this.
How?
Looks
No,
like this.
No, I mean, what?
My turn. My turn. There are 4 lines on the back, just so you know. Your job is to make the skit come alive. And you're going to do that in basically 2 different ways. You will be adding the stage directions. And when we say stage directions, it's going to be done both on how they say their lines and also what are they doing. What are their actions. Okay? I would like you to pair up. Wait. Excuse me. I'd like you to pair up. And I would like to have some of these be acted to see how different stage directions create different plays. Okay? So, I'm going to give you 10 minutes to go ahead and get this going. And, Tim.
How many people in the group?
I prefer 2.
Can we do 3?
If it has to be done.
Alright, it has to be done.
All right, you got 10 minutes. No, I take that back. Let's say 7. You have 7 minutes.
Get off, leave me your head. You go flip.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, listen up.
Time up.
Oh,
Time's down.
sure, why not? All right, listen up, guys. My turn, please.
Peter Griffin.
All right, here's what I'm kind of looking for. Listen. Here's what I'm looking for.
A fashion magazine.
Everybody started with the same script, right?
Yes,
sir.
Everybody started with the script that didn't have stage directions.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Which means that you, as the playwrights,
Yes, sir.
had an opportunity to make this yours.
Yes, sir.
So, I'm looking for 2 or 3 people to be willing to do this.
We are.
Okay,
We are here.
let's have Jeremy's group just go first because they asked me if they could. I'm going to have you guys do it over there.
We gotta go second.
I prefer you did.
Can we go second? Come in, you can
Third.
Come on, Haley. Alright, come on, Chelsea. Haley's my friend and she's gonna stay on the side.
Should we tell the
No, just read it.
See the speaker?
Alright,
Alright, we both gotta look different.
No, I know what to do. I'm just gonna give you a
You recording.
sit on that.
No, he's not recording.
Come on, Haley. No, wait.
Lights.
I don't watch that.
Alright. Guys, listen up. I would like everybody to please have the utmost respect for them because they are still up here doing it. Even if it's funny and you laugh,
Don't laugh.
if
No,
you
they can't see you. Come on,
if it's funny and you laugh, that's okay. Those of you who are acting, all I ask is that while they're laughing, if it's your line next, give them a second to stop laughing so that we can hear you. So just pause, okay?
Totally.
All right, and go.
Come on, Haley.
What you doing?
Reading
Well, what are you reading?
a fashion magazine.
What's it about?
Beyonce and Rihanna.
Rihanna? Wow, Beyonce? Wow.
Excuse me.
Guess what I like?
I don't care.
I like Wabby with fat and boost.
Didn't I say I didn't care?
May I ask you a question, please?
Sure, why not?
Well, if you don't know, who would?
I'm a little busy right now. Maybe later.
Fine.
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 All right. So, that's one rendition. Let's get Sarah's next. Let's get Sarah's next.
Yes.
I don't like being recorded.
Look at Sean.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen. Excuse me. Let's be respectful, please. Starting in 3, 2, 1, and go.
What are you doing?
Reading
What are you reading?
a fashion magazine.
What is it about?
Beyonce and Rihanna.
Rihanna? What? Beyonce? What are you?
Excuse me?
Guess who I like?
I don't have any idea.
I like really a little fat and a little loose.
Who doesn't?
May I ask you a question?
I don't know.
Well, if you don't know, who would?
I'm a little busy right now. Maybe later.
Fine.
Fine.
I don't like you.
Fine.
Now, before we go any further, go ahead and set up. What was one major difference we saw between the first group and the second? How about this?
The second one asked Covenant.
Let me ask you this. What was the major difference between the character that Justice played and the one that Sarah played?
Justice was calm and Sarah was angry.
I would argue that Justice was a little bit calmer and just more annoyed.
Yeah.
Sarah was a little bit more pissed.
Yeah.
Okay? Let's see a third rendition. 3, 2, 1.
Go ahead.
Hey,
Go.
what are you doing, man?
Man, I'm reading.
What you reading?
Fashion magazine.
What is that about?
Beyonce and Rihanna.
Rihanna? Wow. Beyonce? Whoa.
Excuse me?
Guess who I like?
I have no idea.
I like Webby, a little fat, and a little boozy.
Who doesn't?
Maybe. Can I ask you a question?
What?
Well, if you don't know, who would? I'm a little busy right now. Maybe later.
Fine.
Fine. Fine.
Yeah.
Boy.
Alright.
Now,
He hit the ball.
let's take a second and let's look at the difference between Ishmael's character in that one and Shamsa's character.
I am. I'm from nothing.
I mean, I am country, another country. What was the main difference between Ishmael and Shamsa?
Shamsa came in like
Happy.
Like,
Shamsa was happy.
Well,
he
no,
was.
Ishmael was coming in happy.
was hyped
Ishmael came up like all laid back.
Like MC Hammer.
Like, what's up? What's up? Keep it real. Shamsa came in and like, what are you doing?
Okay, so Shamsa came in a little bit more curious. Ishmael came in a little bit more, shall we say, ghetto?
Yeah! MC Hammer.
But here's the point. 3 different groups all had the same script, and they sounded very different. However, do they look different?
Yes.
Yeah.
Did
Sort
they-
of,
did they
kind
really?
of.
No.
They really didn't look much different. And that's the second part of stage directions, and that's something you need to remember. Stage directions tell you not only how something is said, but what is going on while it's being said as well. All right? So, it is your turn to now analyze. You guys have Fence's books in front of you, pages 57 through 68.
Everyone went.
Not everybody, he only let 3 groups do it.
57 to 6.
Here's what I'm asking you guys to do. Here's what I'm asking you to do. Each of you should, well, let me rephrase. Through the day, what people have chosen to do is to get in small groups of 2 or 3, read together, and do the questions. Would you guys like to do that?
Wait, is there a second thing? Is there a second one?
The second one would probably be you guys reading quietly and then doing the questions together, only because we don't have enough time to read as a class together.
Why not? Look how fast they are.
Can we ask the
It's
questions?
going to take you about a half hour to do
Can
this.
we do the questions for homework or something?
Say it again.
Can we do the questions for homework or how would it
So let's just do.
Right now, I need this as your exit slip for today, so I need it done today. So, go ahead, guys. Excuse me. Excuse me. Go ahead and get into small groups. You're working on these questions. I'll wait. The question that involves stage directions, make sure you put physical actions in. Otherwise, I will not be giving you credit.
Physical action.
Yeah. Things they're doing.
We have to act it out.
Pretend as though you would. Okay? You got 30 minutes to do this. 30 minutes. The time starts now.
Last time